These days of remote work are maybe creating a lot of new needs for many of us, including maybe the need to have to scan important documents, even sign them, or maybe you just want to scan important documents for archiving in case something happens. The good news is that scanning at home wirelessly is very easy to do. So let's go. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. If you're new here, my name is Andy. On this channel, I'm helping you enhance your life with technology, talking about hot tech news, reviewing cool tech gadgets, and today providing a quick tutorial. If you want to see similar videos, please hit that subscribe and that bell so you get alerted as I'm releasing a new video every Sunday. We often have a need to wirelessly scan a document, and there are many ways you could accomplish this. You could just take a picture with your camera or your cell phone and transfer that image over to your PC and send it to wherever it needs to go. If you're like me, maybe you even have a wireless multifunction printer in your house with a flatbed scanner on it. And you could even just hit the scan button on it to accomplish this task. But some of the newer printers, maybe they don't have a scan button. What do you do then? You could install the printer software on your computer to take advantage of all the features available. But the really cool thing is you don't have to. Your computer, whether it be a Mac or a PC, already has the ability to scan from these wireless devices using its built-in applications. And if you don't have a multifunction printer scanner at home, I'm even going to show you how you can do this from your iPhone or your iPad. So if you want to skip ahead to your setup, check out the chapters in the description down below. So of course, for scanning documents or even sending important documents with a signature on them, the best format to use is typically PDF. This is because PDF files are not modifiable by design, and also they are typically smaller in file size, which means they'll take up less storage on your computer. So let's see how we get there. First, we're going to start on the PC. So for the equipment I'm using here, I'm just on a Windows PC running Windows 10, and I'm using my HP 4520 multifunction printer. So first step, you do need to make sure that the printer driver is installed on your PC and the PC does recognize it as a scanner. So here's my HP NV 4520 and it does recognize it as a scanner, so we are all set. Okay, and the built-in application we're going to use for this is the application called Windows Fax and Scan. Now, I know it says fax in the name. This is probably a legacy application, kind of left over with some other Windows applications, but it still has some use. And you can find it by just going to Start, scroll down to Windows Accessories, and there you'll see Windows Fax and Scan. Alternatively, you could just hit the Start menu and start typing and search for the word fax, and Windows Fax and Scan pops up. So go ahead and open that application. Now here you will see, oops, this is an old one. We're just going to delete that so we have a fresh slate here. Now you will see there is this welcome scan. This is built in by Windows and it's just an example. You can delete this as we don't need it any longer, so we'll delete that too. Now we have nothing showing up here. Now, very simple and straightforward. To start a new scan, you see in the menu bar some options here, and it's pretty straightforward. So hit New Scan, and a dialog menu will pop up where we can select some options for scanning our document. In this case, I have preloaded my printer with a very important document that I want to scan, sign, and archive. So here I'm just going to select some options. You can see that there's a profile built in. I'm not going to change that. This is a flatbed scanner, so that's the only option. We can change from color to grayscale or black and white, and even change the file format that we're scanning this to. Now, one thing to note here in Windows Fax and Scan is we only have the option to select certain image file formats. If we wanted to scan this to a PDF, there will be one extra step we'll have to take later on. But continuing on for now, further we can select our resolution. This is going to change the quality of the image. If you decrease the resolution, it'll be a poorer quality. If you increase it, it'll be a much higher quality. It will also increase the file size or decrease the file size. So before we get started, I'm just going to hit preview. and I will get a preview image of the document in there. And you can see here, there's a very important document of a piece of artwork created by my son. Okay, so I'm gonna save this as color, leave all the other options as the default. I can even change this window. So if I only wanted to scan a section of this document, I can do that. I want to scan the whole thing, I'll leave it there. And I'm just gonna hit the scan button. Another thing to note, if you did change the resolution, that will impact the time this takes to scan. If you increase the resolution, it will take a little bit longer, but generally this is pretty quick. Don't expect much more than 30 seconds to a minute of scan time. All right, and there you can see it's already done, and inside my Windows Fax and Scan window, I have this image file name. Okay, so from here, I have a couple options at the top. I can forward this as a fax, as probably nobody does anymore. I can send it as an email right away, or I can save it, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and click Save As, and I'm gonna call this test, save it. I'm overwriting the test that's already in there. So let me go over, I saved it right to my downloads folder just so I can find it fast. Let me delete this file. Okay, and there it is. There's our test image in the JPEG format that was default selected. If we want to get this to a PDF, go ahead and open it. So I just double clicked it and it opened in the Windows default application of Photos. So here I have multiple things. I can edit the file if I want, if this was a photo I wanted to edit, or if I simply want to save it as a PDF, we're going to go ahead to the print on the top right, hit print. Now in my print dialog menu, I am brought up with some options. First and foremost, the printer I want to print to. And we don't want a piece of paper coming out, so we're gonna select that. And that's where my Microsoft Print to PDF option is. So go ahead and select Microsoft Print to PDF. Okay, so there it's done. I can now change my typical print settings, file size, photo size, etc. But I want the whole thing, so I'm gonna leave it all as default. I'm printing to PDF, so remember this, nothing will actually print. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the print button, and I will be prompted with another dialog menu or enter a file name, select a location. I'm again going to save this to my downloads folder and hit save. Now once the dialog menu disappears, we can close Photos, and I'm back in my downloads folder, and there's my PDF. So our last step, if this is an important document, we need to sign it. Last step before we send it off to that bank or whatever. Let's go ahead and open it. And in this case, I have Adobe Acrobat Reader installed on my PC. You might not have this. This is the default PDF reading application on my PC. But they're all very similar. This is very easy to use, so I recommend this one. Okay, so our last step here is to sign the document. And if you don't see the right icon on top, hit the 3 dots to expand the more options. And here you'll see the option to sign. So I'm going to select sign, and here's where it's going to give me the option to select the different signature images that are on my PC. If I haven't designated one, I will have to choose the image somewhere, but I've already chosen one. There it is. And there we go. I selected it, and now you see down below it is showing my signature. Now just click where you want to save it. Now it prompts up telling you that once you do save this document, you will no longer be able to edit this field. And this is good, this is what we want. So I'm just gonna make this a little bigger, position it there, all set. Okay, now I'm done. I want to save this. So I'll select the documents location, the downloads location, and I'm just gonna overwrite my existing PDF file. Save, yes, replace. And just to demonstrate, I'm going to close my PDF. I'm going to open my newly saved PDF with signature. Here we go. And now you see my signature at the bottom, but I can no longer click and drag it, or it doesn't give me the option to delete it. I'm hitting delete, nothing's happening. So now it's a signed document ready to send wherever it needed to go. And that was scanning and signing on your PC. Let's hop over to the Mac. Okay, so here we are on the Mac, and the equipment I'm using for this is an iMac running Mac OS X Catalina. And my same HP Envy 4520 printer. And again, the first thing we're going to want to do here is make sure our printer is installed and recognized as a scanner also. So you can see here my HP Envy 4520, and it's also a scanner, so we're all set. And the application we're going to use, the built-in application we're going to use on the Mac is Preview. Now you can find this right in your applications folder here, or you can click the spotlight search on the top or hit Command Space and just search for Preview, and there it is. So open Preview. When you open Preview, it is going to default to asking you what document you want to open. We don't want to open anything, so go ahead and hit cancel. But that didn't close the application. Note in the top left that Preview is still active, so we can go ahead and hit File. And then near the bottom, there are some options for us to import. One of the first options you'll see is import from iPhone or iPad. So I can scan a document in here using the cameras on my iPhone or iPad. So this is one way you could accomplish that from if you don't have a scanner at home. But we do, so we're gonna keep going with that example. So here you can see import from HP Envy 4520 is highlighted. It is recognizing my printer, so I'm just gonna open that. And this again will start warming up, show me an example of what's in my printer, and you see I have this important document that I want to save. And I'm presented with similar options on the right. I can save this as black and white. I'm gonna keep it as color or as text only. I can increase or decrease my resolution, change a different size for the document, and even select a different file type to save this as. Here, however, we are given the option to save this directly as a PDF. So if you are scanning this to send or you want to archive, we could save a step here by not having to convert into a PDF later. We can scan it directly into a PDF file. So we'll keep that there. And no image correction. And I already have my overview scan, so I'm ready to scan it. Go ahead and click scan. And same thing here, if you changed your resolution, it will impact the scan time. So if you increase the resolution, it may increase the scan time or decrease if you decrease the resolution. So this should only take a few seconds, and it's already complete. Now once this window pops up on the left in Preview, you can now close the scan dialog window. So we'll get that out of the way. And here you can see this is our PDF file. It's untitled, but it is scanned in completely. And last thing we need to do before we save it is sign it. So I do need to sign this, send it off to the bank. In Preview, there is a menu bar up on top with an option to extend the markup toolbar. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And this is where we'll find a little signature icon that allows us to add a signature to this document. So hit that drop down. Now if you have not already created a signature, and if you hit the Create Signature button, Preview will walk you through what you need to do. To do that, you simply sign a piece of paper, hold it up to your Mac's camera, and it will save, or select an image. You can see I already have saved a couple. I don't know why I have so many, but I'm just gonna select one, and it's hard to see, but it dropped it right in the center of the document. I'm going to drag it down to the bottom and just increase it, center it there, that looks good. And now I just need to save it. So I'm gonna File and Save. And I'm gonna save this as test to my downloads folder. Okay, so that's saved. I'm gonna close it and go into my downloads folder. And I'm just gonna double click it to open. And here it is. And now you can see my signature is no longer an editable field. I cannot click and drag or delete. So that's what we want. It's now a secure signed document, and I can share it with whomever I like. Okay, now let's hop over and see how we could accomplish this with our iPhone or iPad. So I'm going to use my iPad for this demonstration, but the instructions are the same for any iOS device, your iPad or iPhone. And we're just going to use the built-in Notes application. So go ahead and open Notes. And this will work in any note, but I've already created just an example one here called Scan a Document. Just touch inside the note, and you see at the top there's a camera icon. Go ahead and select that. And I have the option to scan a document right there. So that's what we want. I'm going to open that. And here you can see I've taken my important document out of my printer. I put it on the tabletop, and automatically, I didn't hit the button there, guys. It automatically did that. When you're done, hit Save. If you have more than one page, you can flip through those. Now you can see what Notes did there was it automatically recognized the image and snapped the picture. It does help if you have the document you're scanning on a contrasting background. So if my tabletop was a little darker, that might have been better, but I think it did a pretty good job. Either way, when you select the image, you have the crop button up on the top, and here's where you have the option to adjust the crop. So you can see it missed some edges, and if I just click and drag those with my finger, I can adjust them. So now it's perfect. This one up here, and this one down here. Okay, so that's better. I'm happy with that, so hit Done. Okay, so I'm still in the scan document within my note, and I want to add a signature to this. Now up on the top, a little over from the crop icon, you'll see the Share Sheet button. Go ahead and click that. And in the options down below, you'll see the markup option. Select markup. And this is where it just gives us the option to draw on the image. So I'm just gonna use my finger and do my 3-letter signature and underline. Great. All right, now hit Done in the top left and Done in the top left. And now you can see in our image is my signature. Okay, so I'm just going to tap on the image to go back into it. Now I need to transfer this to, maybe I want to transfer it to my PC or my Mac, or I just want to send it to the bank. It's ready to send. So I'll go ahead back into the Share Sheet, and here I could select mail if I want to email it to wherever I need to go, or I can airdrop it to my Mac, or send it to myself and save it on my PC. Simple as that, and we're done. So simple as that, guys. Thanks for hanging out to the end of the video. If you got any value out of this, please hit that like button and drop me a comment if you have any other suggestions on how to accomplish this at home. And I guess I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.